Hey, I'm Amadeus, and this is Gay in Rural France, a podcast where I talk about queer life in the countryside, mental health, and everything in between. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast, this time from my bedroom. So if you're just listening, I'm sitting on one of my sofas in the bedroom. That sofa was already there when I moved in, like most of the furniture, and that I'm exchanging bit by bit. But yeah, so we see like a little fancy leaf lamp behind me, and you already see the room is already designed in a way that is a bit more, I would say, lively but subtle. And that's exactly what I want to talk about in the podcast today. It's about queering the home and the reclaiming of home and what is home for queer people and in the whole queer relation. So I've got a few bullet points here because it's quite the undertaking, and I did some research, and I just wanted to talk about all these things around the home because I think it's really important in how we combine being queer and being in a home. And just a short notice on the word queer. Queer is just as much a reclaiming of a word that was used to harm us, to say that we are different in a very negative way. And I think the community has taken this word and embraced it and turned it into something really beautiful and into something very respectful and into a description of us that we are queer, you know, we are different and we want to be different. So it's all cool, you know. I think I just wanted to make that clear because I had one comment that said that I shouldn't be using the word queer, and I do think that it is very empowering using the words that were used to actually harm us. So, and while I was doing the research for this episode, I came across this thing that actually being already a queer person, living in a home and designing a home for yourself or for your family, and we'll get into this later, is already a form of quiet activism. And I was so mind blown by that because, I mean, I was very involved in activism, also a sort of activism, not like going on the streets and rioting, but supporting queer communities and giving them kind of a way to be seen and to be heard. And I made a film about the situation of the queer community, of the LGBTQIA plus community in Poland. Because if you haven't known, I'm originally from Poland. I was born in Poland, raised in Germany. And so during the pandemic, I got a scholarship to make a short film about this. And it was called HomoPol. It was about my roots, about my Polish roots, and about questioning. And it's a dance documentary, so everything is danced, basically. If you are interested in that documentary, I will link it down below in the description box and also in the show notes in the podcast. It's been to some festivals as well, and I'm very proud of that film, I have to say. And I think already being visible is a form of resistance, a form of showing we're out here, we're not going anywhere, we're here and we're here to stay. And I think that is already knowing that is quite crazy and quite an empowering thing, you know. And that's why I want to do this podcast. That's why I do Le Demi Château, which is not necessarily queer, but I'm a queer person doing up a chateau, you know. It's like I am already in a niche of a niche, if you know what I mean. So I find this really, really cool. And so I want to ask the question, what does it mean to claim space? You know, to claim a space and make it your own. And yes, and being respectful within the historical boundaries of the space and everything. But what does it mean to actually like claim this space and make it yours and put your touch on this? And this is a question that we could all just ask ourselves inside our homes, you know? So what is queering the domestic? I think it's first and foremost, it's reimagining for whom home is. You know what I mean? So, what is this home for? And I think homes so far and still until this day in our society, homes are very heteronormative. So they follow this very specific thing of a man and a woman and maybe children, you know? It's very, homes are designed very much around this. And also us as queer people, and especially like I think the cis gay community is very good at this, as like replicating the heteronormative life and just trying to like fit in because it's just easier to fit in. But I think it's really reimagining how our homes serve us rather than we need to serve the homes, and breaking out of this heteronormative roles and breaking out of like, so what does my home need to provide to me? And my home is also an extension of my identity in the end. It's the colors I choose, it's the products, it's the fabrics I choose, it's the way I dress, it's the way I do my nails. Like I know I have done my nails. They're, if you're listening to the podcast, you're just listening, then they're like light pink. So you know, it's like reclaiming all of this for us and actually re-questioning it and staging the home as something that is an extension of our identity, which we have already done with fashion very much, and it's been adapted also by heterosexual people. But I think the home is a whole other thing when it comes to this. So I think it's, what are we actually reclaiming? And I found this very interesting in my research. It's the reclaiming of softness and care. And I think that that it's this feminine side that we're reclaiming, that a home, you know, we identify the home, and I did speak about this in my first season of the podcast, that it's something very manly, it needs to be built, and you need to be strong, and you need to be all of these things, you know, that are just so stuck in the 50s. And I think it's reclaiming the feminine role and reclaiming the softness of a building and the softness of our surroundings, and how our surroundings and us, we can be careful with others and we can extend our care through our homes to somebody. And also this form of homemaking becomes a sort of resistance, because we're making our homes to make us feel safe, creating safe spaces for people like us, for people, and also like for friends, allies, everyone, you know. I'm not trying to exclude. I think it's really easy to sometimes just exclude people, but I think it's really embracing the softness as strength and embracing vulnerability as a strength. And I think we are slowly getting there as a society. I don't know, might take still a bit of time. So, as I was mentioning before, the whole family thing, and making a home for your family, I think, what does queer family mean, you know? And I think it's extending the family beyond just the couple family model. It's how, I mean, I live alone, like most of the time. It's my house. My name's on the deed of the house, you know? And my boyfriend has his own house that he owns with his best friend. But we're all everywhere, and we have friends in the village, and we have dinner at everybody's house every day. So we kind of go around. There's no real system around it, but all the homes are welcoming for the others. And if someone needs to work in a quiet space, they come here and they just sit in my living room and work with me. Or I mean, all with asking before, you know, because we all respect our privacies as well. But I think it's extending the home beyond just the normal boundaries of the family, and also knowing that there is a certain solitude in being queer, but community and friends are so important. And once we find this, you create like your own family. And I think even in a heteronormative world, for example, Château de la Lande is creating this. They are so many people at the chateau, and they're making this chateau worthwhile because it's a huge chateau, and these places are meant to be lived in. They are meant to have people in them and not be museums and not be just for one family and very exclusive, you know? Like France beheaded those people and rightfully so. So yeah, I think our little community here, which also includes heterosexual people, is very much this. It's the exchange, it's the opening up your home, it's understanding home as something different than just being for you and your family or your partner, rather than opening up your home for everyone. And I think already in a rural setting it is more common, for heterosexuals at least, but it still stays usually in the boundaries of the family because the families are quite huge. So I think we as queer people, we opened this up, this whole idea of family and chosen family, and that our family is so many more people than the people who are related to us by blood. So yeah, I mean, we have talked about this. I think you also I think you also messaged me in the comments that some of you live rurally, and it's not that easy, and you would recommend for people to move more into like city areas or village areas. And I know that I have been very lucky, and my personal story, I know, is something that is a bit out of the ordinary, because I met the man of my dreams, the love of my life, whatever you want to call it, in this tiny village with 180 inhabitants. And I know that it doesn't happen to everyone. So I have created, and I think that's what I'm yearning for, I'm creating a little community around me of people who are like-minded, who are open, who are queer, who are queer loving, you know, who are accepting, and I think it's a form of education also, in some point, because we have friends that are very heterosexual, that are open, and that are very rural, you know, rural based. They're born and raised here. They've had maybe quite right-wing views, but I think they're changing immensely just by being around us, by chatting with us, by being open. And this, I find the real beauty. And while I was researching, I was talking with people as well, and then somebody said that, yeah, my château is basically an unintentional political act, which, yes, sort of it is. I never thought of it this way, but yeah, I think once we go public with something, it becomes automatically political without politicizing it, you know. And I think that's the difference, you know. It's like I'm not trying to talk about politics here or anything, but I think just by being open about the way I live, about sharing it with you on this channel, on my other channel, on my social media, on being out and about here, and people know all these things about me. So I think it becomes truly an unintentional political act, which might empower others, and this I find lots of strength within that. So I just wanted to give you a bit of historical and cultural examples, and one of the very historical examples is the ballroom houses in New York City. And for this I would give you a nice reference. It's the movie Paris is Burning. It's a documentary from 1990 directed by Jenny Livingston, and this documentary is just amazing. I think you can find it on YouTube when you look for it, and it really shows you the situation of this chosen family and the ballroom houses being houses for the queer community, being hubs for exchange, for love, for care, for softness in a very, very harsh environment. Same as queer salons, safe spaces that are around, like my boyfriend's best friend, who's also my friend, Justine, she and her partner have a tattoo parlor slash safe space for the queer and trans community in La Rochelle, in Charente-Maritime by the sea. And I think they're doing incredible work, you know? That's just, yeah, I mean, and there's so many examples of also crafts and textiles being protest. I think you might remember there was a trend when people were knitting things and knitting colorful rainbows around lampposts and around different parts of buildings in bigger cities. And this was a form of like textile protest, which also extends from the home into the societal space. And I found this it's a form of reclaiming space as well, you know. And this leads me to decor being a rebellion, you know, decor not being used as something to not only uphold the standard but also like questioning the standard and trying to see what can I bring to a space that will make it maybe even outrageous, you know. It's like whatever you feel fine with, you go girl, you take it, you know. It's like you want to use bold colors, I love it. I mean, my next door room is like black and pink and yellow, you know. It's like I love this, and I know that it might not be historically appropriate, but at the same time I think it's really important to reclaim those spaces and to still keep within the boundaries of this building, absolutely, but at the same time also knowing that there is a certain thing that has a very heteronormative perspective on it, and I find it's okay to just change things and reuse them, reclaim them, and find beauty that breaks the rules, basically. So we have come to the closing reflection of this video, and I have a few questions for you actually to ask yourself, maybe if you're interested in asking yourself, or some food for thought, which is what makes you feel safe, you know? That's the first question, because I think home should make you feel safe. Home should be something that is soft, caring, safe. It should be something where loving exchange happens, where respect is, and it should be something, a space like this. And then can home be a movement? You know, maybe it can. I find especially in today's digital age, where our homes are all over social media platforms, they're everywhere seen online, I think that the power of the home is so much grander than before. Before, you would open up a magazine and things like this. It was less accessible. It was more accessible to people who would know about these magazines, then would have the money to buy those magazines, then yada yada yada, you know. But now it's been so accessible for everyone to just, you know, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, check out other people's homes. And yes, I think they do create a movement with that, and they do show that queer people are reclaiming the space for themselves. And the final question is for you guys. I mean, what is home for you? What do you think about all of this? How do you perceive the queering of the home? Do you think it's? Do you also see it? Do you think it's a viable and a necessary thing? I do think it is. I do think and I do believe that we all should be queering the home, and we're all representatives of this, if we want it or not. It's like this unintentional political act that the chateau is. It's like I'm not pushing for it. I don't want it. But I know that it's there and I am aware of this. And I think being aware of this, I can in a certain way or form be a role model, or be someone that shows that this is life and this can be life if you want it to be. So we have come to the end of this podcast. I hope you had fun discussing. I really loved researching this topic. It's really just a topic that is close to my heart, and I thought like combining queer and the home is just amazing for this podcast, because it's two things that really interest me in my daily life and in my artistic life as well. So yeah, you'll find the links to I will try to find, if I can find Burning in Paris, or Paris is Burning, gosh. I always turn this movie title around. I was like, Burning in Paris. No, it's it's Paris is Burning. If I can find that movie for you and link it down below, I'll definitely link my short film down below. Thank you for listening, and if you have been watching, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next week with another episode. Until then, bisous from the southwest of France. Bye guys, have a lovely day or night.